I think outside the UK there's an impression that the UK public is very hostile to immigration, but I think that misses some of the nuance. Most of the surveys suggest that where you live, what generation you're from, whether you have a degree, has a big influence on your attitudes towards immigration, and that includes in the UK. However, if we were to characterize it, it's probably worth dividing it into three groups. There's a group that is obviously very liberal about immigration, that welcomes the diversity it brings and the economic dynamism that it can infuse into the UK economy. There's also a group that is very, very skeptical, that is concerned about the cultural implications of immigration, and that is worried about the impact that it has on our homogeneity as a nation. However, about 60% of the country probably is in the category of what is now referred to as the fuzzy middle. And I think this is quite a pragmatic viewpoint on immigration. It combines, an acknowledgement of the economic benefits that immigration can bring, particularly for a very globalized economy like the UK. It also appreciates that rapid immigration can change communities quite fundamentally. It can also put pressures on the labour market and in particular on public services. I think that is something that's very distinctive of the UK, that there has been an ongoing concern amongst the British public about the impact that rapid immigration has had on institutions such as the National Health Service and the education system. So what lessons should progressives learn from the Labour Party's experience in power in relation to immigration? I think the key lesson is to plan first and really prepare for immigration quite carefully, to really plan for the scenario where immigration might actually exceed expectations and be very upfront with the general public about what the objectives are of a strategy of being more open towards migrants. I guess one of the dilemmas for the Labour Party is that its core support probably sits amongst the people who are both most at ease with immigration and with some of the most concerned. For example, it's a young party in general. It's a party with lots of support from university graduates. We know from the public opinion that these are groups that are in general very tolerant towards migration and actually receive it with a degree of enthusiasm. On the other hand, if you will, Labour's core voters live in parts of the country that have experienced less immigration, working in areas of the economy that can be much more exposed to certain forms of wage undercutting, and live in areas where there's higher levels generally of deprivation and low growth. Now, coming to terms with that is very, very difficult. One idea that IPPR explored is whether one could have a much more devolved system of immigration, and whether that might actually be able to be much more responsive to the realities of public opinion. So, for example, a system which is actually much more open in London makes complete sense. There's a lot of political will, public support and a strong economic need. However, the situation might be much different in, say, the Midlands, the post-industrial area of the UK that's recovering, but nevertheless where there is a sort of strong focus of concern around immigration. Maybe there might be different sets of policies that you might pursue. So a much more disaggregated, much more geographically informed immigration policy could be a way forward for that progressive dilemma.